And now in this video, I will try not only to demonstrate MCP connector and mini app, but also we create a really useful mini app for everyday usage. So let's have a look how it works. Let's create a new project. Let's name it my business. And for example, ask just a simple question here. Why ChatGPT mini apps are useful, and ask to reply briefly just on 3 paragraphs. This is a request to ChatGPT directly, so ChatGPT has no additional context to improve its response, so it makes an ordinary response which makes on any other systems. So it's brief information. You can read some common data about the mini apps. Okay, let's do the next step. Let's add a mini app here. Call it 10 actions. Here's some name where it lives. You can use it, this mini app anytime, so it's available. It's published now GitHub. So we click create. So I'm waiting while it's connecting. So now this mini app is ready. So let's have a look what's inside. Inside we can see that this MCP connector has one tool which helps ChatGPT to enrich on response. So based on user's prompt, this MCP connector add additional context, and ChatGPT uses context while it prepares a response. But it's not only MCP connector, it's also a mini app, because we declared here some HTML file. It's called a mini app example, and we declared which resources contain all relevant data in order to make this mini app work. So that's all. Now MCP connector is ready. The next step, we add this connector in this project. Here it is, and again we ask absolutely the same question. Let's see what's happening. So it's first request ChatGPT makes some initial preparation, so it takes more time in order to initialize this mini app. And as soon as it's ready, it displays us which tools are calling. So for the first call, we have to approve that we confirm with this query. Yeah, while the request is processing, we can play a game. So in HTML is developing using HTML inside this mini app. And as soon as it's ready, ChatGPT displayed prepared HTML. It's interactive with a picture, with a clickable button, which is open. You can open a URL bound to this button. And also, if we have a response comparing to this one, we can see that inside this response, ChatGPT tells about, for example, personalization and preparing these mini apps on fly. So why it's changed? Its response has significantly changed because using our MCP, we expanded context. We gave additional context to ChatGPT. Now we told that many apps are useful to create customizable interfaces. It's hyper personalization, and you can do it on fly. And this information were used by ChatGPT in its response. So as you can see, on entrance for our mini app, we received the query. The query was prepared by user, And as a response, we send back additional context and information what to publish inside HTML. So it's a picture which is displayed here. It's external URL bound to this button. And also we assigned a unique user ID. So it's this user ID stored in ChatGPT widget state, and it's shared among all devices with the same account. So if you use the same mini app on, for example, on smartphone under the same account, you can the same user ID will be assigned for this mini app. So it's a little magic how it's easy to add a mini app and make ChatGPT responses more effective based on your requirements. So let's have a look what's inside, how it works. Let's deep dive into MCP connectors and mini apps. So we published all source data. In our GitHub repository. So you can see here brief information, how it works, which tools are calling, where to have a look at live demo. So some structure of this repo and so on, how to install it. So, and also here's some sources of HTML and sources of MCP server. Here you can see. And example of requests which sent by ChatGPT and responses which should be done on these requests. So let's look inside. Here is the same repo. Okay, here is the same repo. So let's look inside. First of all, let's look at backend. Backend, in our case, backend is realized using a database PostgreSQL. So, and I prepared a simple function inside this database in order to process requests from ChatGPT and prepare relevant responses. Why I use functions inside Postgre? Because within this function, I can enrich my data with any information from any tables. It's no need to have additional connections to database to build a complex relation between them, but to deploy multiple services. So inside one service, I can do all what I need. I process a request, I prepare all relevant data, and I prepare a response to ChatGPT. So let's have a look how it works. So it's ChatGPT sending some basic methods on each request. The first method it requests, it calls initialize. So it sends me information about agent, ChatGPT agent, and it waits for a response about this mini app and MCP connector. So it's I have to provide a description of this MCP connector. I have to prepare scope, provide scope where this MCP connector works, and I have to declare where it works. So in this case, I specialize that it works inside the projects only, and it available for any chat. So it's important settings. Why? Because on default, for example, MCP connections works with deep research only. So it's important to specialize such modes. And also here is some brief description. You can make this description wider. So provide additional information in order to explain ChatGPT when to use this tool. So it's the first method, first request. Next request, ChatGPT asks about available tools. Which tools are available inside this MCP connector? And as a response, I have to prepare detailed information, detailed schemas of this tool. So it's I have to provide name of this tool, description, when to use this tool and why is it for, input schema. So what data I'm waiting from ChatGPT. So in this case, I specialize that I need user's request, user query, what's the prompt user typed in ChatGPT in order to process it and prepare a relevant context for ChatGPT. And also I'm waiting for user ID, which will assigned after the first request. So the same user ID will be sent on each further request, on second, third, and further requests. And it's very important on my side because in this case, I can identify this user and so collect from statistics some to prepare some customizations for this user and so on. So it's a way how to register user in a very, very simple way. The user has not required to provide some email or any credential data. It's all registration is processed automatically. And the second part, it's output scheme, which information I send back to ChatGPT. So it's also very important to declare each attribute for this response in order to explain to ChatGPT what to do with this response. So it's after this explanation, ChatGPT knows, okay, that's in this attribute, it's called context for ChatGPT. There's additional context to prepare response for ChatGPT. For other attributes, it's information for mini app. So to picture and external URL to bound to button. And important attribute is user session ID. I explained that this user session ID should be stored inside widget, mini app widget. Okay, so it's the second second method. The third method, it's a call when after any user's prompt, when user input any query. So this method is called. So and I get information, some basic information about user's location, so I can customize my response based on this location. And also I receive a user's query, was input, and user session ID. So it's in order to identify this user. If this user ID is empty, so you see here simple business logic, I generate a unique user ID which was used for further requests. And in this block, you can prepare any business logic, how to process this query, how to enrich it, which information to prepare for mini app, and so on. It could be written in any language. You can write in Python, in Node.js. It doesn't matter. So the main target to prepare relevant information for ChatGPT and for mini app. And the last step, I send back this information as a JSON. So it's external URL, context, and so on, as we declared earlier in output schema. So it's a third method, and the last but not the least, here is also important method, it's written resources. So on initializing, ChatGPT asks for additional resources, which are resources are available for ChatGPT. And as a response, I declare a new mini app. It's a HTML file. So I declare MIME type. It's very important to specify this MIME type because ChatGPT knows it. And it's just a simple HTML where I just loading CSS and JS file from my resources. So it's this HTML runs inside a mini app. So that's all. And also very important to declare which resources are available for ChatGPT in order to protect against coarse errors. So that's all. It's there's a whole code of simple MCP server. As I declare, the main business logic should be defined in this part. All other parts are similar for all MCP connectors, so you can take this template and use it for any solutions. Okay, so it's regarding backend. Now let's have a look again at input and output requests and responses from ChatGPT. So initialize this information received from ChatGPT. Here is initialize and name of agent, and it's my output, what I send back. Again, it's very important to specify such modes. ChatGPT, if you want to use your MCP connector inside deep research, you can add deep research here. And it's very important to specify scope. It's inside project, but because by default, it's used in common chats only, not using for projects. But MCP connectors are very useful inside projects. So, and a brief description. The next, again, it's a tool list. Just send me a name of this method. And on my part, I prepare input-output schemas for this method. And also very important points for each request, ChatGPT sends ID of this request and version. So I have to respond with the same ID and with the same version of JSON RPC. So it's also very important. Please pay attention for this point. Set method ask me which resources are available, and I respond with the code of mini app. As I demonstrated, it's very simple code, and again, very important to declare all available domains for ChatGPT. So otherwise, you'll face course error. So, and one more example, it's a tools call. When ChatGPT send me a query with a user prompt, what user asked for. So, and it provides additional information about, so it's location, user's location, and in argument object, here is details about user query and user ID, which was assigned as after the first request. And my response should contain all information, all context for ChatGPT and information for mini app in order to display the relevant picture and bound the relevant URL for button. And so let's have a look at front-end part. So inside front-end, there is just 6 files. It's enough to build such mini app. The first file is just a declaration about the name of this application. And the same name I have to declare inside my response. So here is some name. Yes, this name, the same name should be inside my HTML. So in order to bound this HTML file with React JSON file. So it's just declaration. The main file is here. I call it app.js6. So here I import OpenAI libraries. So we discuss them a little later. This OpenAI libraries, and on each call, this function is used for in this file. This function is applied. Inside this function, what I do? First of all, I read current statuses of environment, ChatGPT environment. What's the display mode? What's the theme mode? Some dark or light? What's the device type, mobile or not mobile? Because based on these settings, my request could be different. It's the first point. The second part, I read a response from backend, from my MCP connector. This response is stored inside a tool output attribute of ChatGPT storage. So it's you can read anytime the content of this storage and use it for any business logic on your front end. The next part is how I process user session ID. So if I see it's if this user ID is not null, I update widget state of the mini app in order to store it permanently, because it's persistent storage, and moreover it's synchronized with all devices with the same account. So here is a small code how to update this widget. The next part, I process parameters for to display. picture and other data. So first of all, I understand which type of device, and based on this device, based on this type, first I set height of this picture and read a link to this picture from the relevant appropriate attribute of the response. So in this part, I prepare all data to display. And one more function is how a click is processed. I have to open a click not direct using standard HTML services. I have to use OpenAI functions called Open External URL. So yes, and the last part is how to prepare a React template. So this React template, it's not difficult, it's rather simple. So first of all, I check if I have no data in OpenAI storage. I run a simple game. So you can see this game inside file or inside waiting status file. So it's you can check it if you like. So if I have no content, no picture, I display there's no content found. But when I get a link to picture, I display it here, so via image tag with all relevant parameters. And also I display a button with watch content label, so it's, as you can see, it's available here. Yeah, so I receive such data. So picture, button with the URL which was sent in my response, and all is clickable, all is available for usage. And one more point here. Let's have a look at built-in OpenAI types and methods. So in order to manage your mini app, in order to communicate with OpenAI storage, you have to use special functions, so which are provided by OpenAI. First function, how to read any key from OpenAI storage. So list of these keys we listed here. You can read a display mode, you can read device type, you can read a storage response from MCP connector. That's the first point. Second, you can update any of these parameters, or you can switch from dark mode to light mode, or you can switch to full screen mode, and so on. You can change all of these parameters. It's also available using another function set OpenAI global. The next function, how to read, how to update persistent widget of OpenAI. So it's as I mentioned, this widget, this storage is synchronized across all devices automatically. It's also very useful if you want to store some data for permanent usage by your mini app. Next function is call to. So it's also a very important point that you have to use this method in order to call your MCP connector from mini app. So you have not use standard API calls to your backend. You have to use call tool and MCP tools in order to communicate between your mini app and MCP server. So here's an example how it works. So it's first of all, I read current state of tool output, then I send a request using OpenAI function call tool, and then I merge response from this tool with the current state of tool output in order to, otherwise this data will be overwritten. And some more functions. So anytime I can send a message from a mini app in ChatGPT chat. So the user can see this message. I can switch between display mode, between for example, full screen and ordinary screen. And one more method I mentioned about it, how to open external URL from your mini app. As we see, just by clicking on this URL, this method should be called, not a standard HTML method to open an external URL. So it's, I think it's just a brief intro how all this system works. You can try it inside our, you can see this result. You can try it inside our GitHub. And moreover, you can add this connector anytime inside your ChatGPT, try how it works. And using these samples, I hope you can build your first mini app MCP connector in any short terms. So thank you for your attention.